Fake star.
I can't. We're not on the air. Hi, hello, and how's it going? It is her, she does me, it is I, Millenia Decade.
And I'm Alix with an I, and this is Café.
Gong glitter. Meow.
Because of the last episode, I tried doing the thing you do.
And you went, meow.
It didn't work.
Gary.
Q2, you're
Let's
trying to
drink
show
to
me,
that.
Trying to show me how
How are you, Alix?
I'm doing well.
You
What
look
about
so
you?
handsome in
Thank
your
you.
Los Angeles Dodger shirt.
I was actually born in Los Angeles
When?
in 19. Oh no, you're gonna fucking get me into that shit.
What?
You were born in 91.
I forgot
born
about
in-
that because you were born in 91.
Oh my
I was born in
fucking
91.
God.
We were all born in 91.
Yeah, I was born in Los Angeles. I was born in Somewhat, California.
Oh, how young were you when you moved here?
Oh, I was a baby. I was like a baby.
Just a baby.
I don't know, like
So you're
1
a
or
full-on
2.
country boy.
Yeah, something like
You little
that.
country boy. You were destined to be here.
In the Central Valley.
Yes, because now you're an advocate, a visible person, a person who leads by example, someone that youth in the Central Valley have and aspire to be like.
Yeah. But you were in LA too, right? For a long time.
Pomona.
We could have met sooner.
California. Well, no, they brought you here as a baby.
Oh yeah. But if I would have stayed over there,
We probably wouldn't have met. Imagine that, our lives without each other. Wait.
but yeah, now we're here advocating in the Central Valley.
Yeah.
For our community, our LGBTQ community, LGBT plus,
LGBT what?
LGBTQ plus.
What even is that?
You don't know what an LGBT is?
No.
You look LGBT.
What? I look like a sandwich. BLT.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that because not everybody that watches our podcast knows what that even means, right? What even is LGBT?
You know what? It's crazy because I feel like it's our everyday or bread and butter. Like we show up, we get up, and we go work it, flip it and reverse it. But there's a lot of people who have no idea. But no, you were talking about something right now. LGBT. What does that mean?
Oh, LGBT. I was talking about how you look LGBT.
Excuse me.
Yeah, no, we were talking about how sometimes folks that watch us are not part of the LGBT community, and sometimes we say words that may not make sense.
Very true.
So we just kind of wanted to do just like a little intro to LGBT. What does that mean? What is it?
Yeah, because I mean, in today's climate, it's kind of impossible to not hear LGBT. And sometimes people are just like terminology, they get lost, it's overwhelming, or they're misinformed because
Yeah.
people who don't know are speaking and they're listening to them and getting their information from them. So what
Or
better way than to get it from
uneducated.
the source?
Yeah.
This source.
So LGBT stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans. And then we sometimes we put a Q, right, for queer, which is an umbrella term. And then we also have the plus, which I feel like it includes everybody else.
I think it's kind of cool to kind of delve into some basics
Yeah.
for people who maybe don't fully understand or are not comfortable. So there's like terms that are out there like gender and identity and which other ones?
Sexual orientation.
Orientation. So how about kind of like explaining that starting from there for someone who may not be familiar with?
Yeah, so we talked about LGBT and we defined what they are, right? Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and then trans, right? And trans is not actual a sexual orientation, that's a gender identity, right? And I think it's important to talk about how they're two different things. Just because somebody's gay or just because somebody's trans doesn't mean that they're gay, or just because a lot of the times people will kind of mash everything into one.
I think part of it is the lack of trainings and understanding, because if you really look at it, I feel like we're kind of familiar with it because it's our everyday, but I can see how it can be overwhelming to a cis hetero person who never had to deal with it in their life, and now all of a sudden they have a queer kid or a family member they're trying to support, and it's like all jumbled up. Like, I don't get it, like lesbian but trans but non-binary but pan, but like what is all of this?
Yeah, no, it can be overwhelming. There is a lot of different terms, but it's important because of visibility reasons, right? It's nice to be able to see something and be like, oh my god, that's me, and then
Mm-hmm.
not feel so in your head. Because sometimes when we're trying to figure ourselves out, we might get so wrapped up in our head and not know who to talk to, or not see anybody else that's like us and think, oh my god, am I crazy? Like, is this just me?
Mm-hmm.
And then seeing it right there, it helps.
It's just happened to me several times in my lifetime to understand why visibility is so important. If you feel it's not important, you're probably privileged, because like it hits like a ton of bricks when you're like, dude, not when I first met a non-binary person, I was like, things make sense. Like, just you being here is making me feel visible, understood. I'm not crazy. Like, a missing puzzle piece has been found. When I met someone who was diagnosed with ADHD, and then they explained all their symptoms to me, I was like, that is me. Like, your brain is like mine. Thank you, whatever entity is up there. Like, oh my gosh, this person, I see myself in somebody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So that is the power of like visibility and seeing someone who is in that same journey as you.
Yeah, so the just kind of like a little introduction, and that's what that means. And then that's separate, and why it's important to have those words, and why it's important to like talk about pronouns, because a lot of people are like, I went somewhere and some dude was like, "Oh, I don't use pronouns." And I was like, "You use pronouns every day. What are you talking about?" Like, you use pronouns every day. Like, it's just that lack of education, that just because we're talking about pronouns, people automatically assume that we're talking about the LGBT community, and that's not the case. People use them all the time.
Remember back in elementary school when they were teaching you verbs, adjectives, pronouns? You've heard about pronouns
And
before.
pronouns are a form of like, it's validating. It's nice to be able to be referred to as who you are. So I think a lot of the times growing up, people have heard about lesbian, gay, being bi, right? A lot of the times people have heard of that. And then when we're talking about trans, or under the trans umbrella or gender identity, that's when people kind of like have this weird, like, oh no, I don't get it. So what is being trans? Like, what does that mean? And when you're born, people are assigned a sex at birth, right? When you're born, the doctor looks at you and is like, oh, you're this.
I see this, so you're this.
Yeah. And it's very based on like genitals and stuff like that, which I understand as a society, right? It doesn't match, right? And your brain doesn't match. Like, I'm pretty sure I told you the story, right? About how I thought it was a Pokemon. Oh.
This video is sponsored by Dutch Bros. Thank you so much for watching our video.
What?
Oh, I thought you said something. I'm pretty useless when I'm in drag. My Dutch Bro finger is all wet. Go ahead. Dude, since I discovered chai, my life has not been the
You
same.
know what? I bought you one. I don't know when, but I was like, let me taste it. It tastes like horchata.
I'm telling you. Horchata.
Growing up, I very much felt, when I was at a super young age, like, oh no, like I'm gonna be different when I grow up, things like that. So, but before that, I actually knew somebody that was a lesbian, like, and I think we've talked about this in the podcast before. It was a friend of my mom, and she was a lesbian, and I didn't really know at the time, but I just knew that she wore leather jackets. It was the 90s, slick back hair. It was really, she looked cool. She looked cool, and so I knew she was a lesbian, but I knew it was bad because they made fun of her, right? And then being lesbian and then being trans is like two separate things.
I think that's why it's important to understand that there is what? That's gonna be cut out. Man. She's a lady. She's mixed Fresno Pride 2024. She don't burp.
What we can do is we can picture a person, right?
Uh-huh.
First and foremost, a human,
Yes.
right? Because let's kind of break it down on what this human is and identities and expression and all that. So let's picture a human, and at the top of them is your head, right? Your brain.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about your gender identity, maybe how you feel, how you think, all that stuff, right? And we go a little bit lower, and then we get to your heart, right? And what does that mean? Your heart means who you love, right? And that's your sexual orientation, who you love, who you're attracted to. And then we go a little bit lower, and then we get to that area where you get to your genitals, your sex assigned at birth, right? So that could be male, female, or even intersex. And a lot of times people don't even know if they are intersex.
Mm-hmm.
You good?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even know if they are intersex unless it's visible, or I've even heard that a form of PCOS is a form of intersex just because of hormones. Nobody really knows unless you like really get your chromosome tested, and I don't really have money for that, so I'm good. But and then you keep going and you just see the outside presence, and that's your gender expression, or how you express yourself to other people, as far as like feminine or masculine or neither. And that's kind of like a little intro to what it all means, because people like to overcomplicate it, and it's not that complicated.
Or people like to just think about it how they did back in the 60s and be like, it's as simple as what you were born as. Like
That's it. Yeah.
Humans are a lot more complex than that, and
Yeah.
get with the times, because it's not made up, it's all proven, and there's research, and it's now a matter of whether you open your mind and listen and learn, rather than, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is something that's not new, something that has been around for a long time.
I
We're
think the
talking
main
about-
problem
yeah.
though has been like the lack of exposure because of it, the taboo, the queer, the this, the that, and it never made its rounds around, like in that sense.
Yeah, yeah. But I hate when people, not hate is a strong word. I don't like when people are like, I don't like when people are like, oh, well, that wasn't around when I was.
Well, it's here now, Catherine,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And it's like, no, it's been around. And even my dad actually told me something like that. He was like, well, it's because when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of people like that. And I was like, Dad, but there was, but they left. And he was like, oh, well, yeah, they left. And I'm like, well, they left because they weren't being accepted, But there was people like that. If we go back all the way to
people like us
indigenous-
have existed throughout history, but
Yeah.
they've been erased or forgotten for that same very reason.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like it just happened right now. We've always been around.
Yeah, we've always been around. And then with that being said, I'm kind of curious to hear, what was your experience with the very first LGBT person in your life? Or can you remember?
Okay, one of the very first I remember was this kid in 3rd grade, actually. I can't pinpoint like an adult, but I always remember seeing like those comedy shows, the stupid ass comedy shows with the stereotypical gay guy, and which I am, I guess, but not everybody.
Not stereotypical at all.
So from a very, very early age, I knew drag was to be or not drag. Being gay was meant you getting laughed at, being the butt of the joke, being weird. That. But I remember that when I first saw that kid in the 3rd grade, he was very effeminate, and thinking back, that kid was just happy. He was very smiley and would talk. And immediately I remember boys being like, that fool's gay, that. And then I remember they made fun of him, like straight up. But me being gay myself, I saw him, and little me would try to stay away, because I felt that if I associated myself with him, I would get
clocked
clocked too.
No.
Because the only thing that worked in my favor was how reserved and quiet I was. Because the moment I talked, people would know. The moment they saw me on the talent show, they would know.
They knew. Everybody knew.
But the thing is that I always kept to myself, and I was quiet and off to the side. And that's how I maintained out of the spotlight and the people's attention. But that kid stood out, and it just proved to me, like, the fact that he was getting bullied and made fun of, that, like, it's not right. It's not gonna be okay for me. Like, it's not accepted.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to hear that right away, like somehow we know that it's bad, right? At a very young age. Even I think my niece like kind of insinuated one time when she was younger that she knew it was like something bad. And I was like, it's not something bad, you know? Um but it sounds like we both had like experiences with people and then it being bad. So when now imagine like you hear I hear that they're talking about this lesbian and people make fun of her. You see that people make fun of this kid for being gay or being called gay. And then we see in the media people making fun of people in drag, so it's interesting to just
Dude, like, I'm just thinking back right now when I was little. I watched Betty La Fea. Did you ever watch that? There was an episode where the respected Don Armando goes to the club and it's a gay club and everybody's like, listen. And he's in drag and it's to be like embarrassing, bad, like weird, gross. I remember even that, like, those episodes of Jerry Springer.
Yeah, Jerry Springer.
Jose Luis. Did you ever watch Jose Luis? Jose Luis was like the Spanish version of like
Jerry Springer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the Maury Show.
Yeah,
running backstage
everywhere in the media. So I guess everywhere in the media is portrayed wrong. Yeah, honestly, and only now are we seeing some good positive representation.
Yeah, like right now, like I would say it's like a renaissance or explosion of artists, like everywhere. Like we have like Sam Smith, an openly non-binary person performing at the award shows. Sure, there's like people online going crazy or whatnot, but he's on there. And back then, I mean, I remember when Adam Lambert came out in American Idol and kissed the guy on the lips, and then it was like,
really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
I remember that.
Wait, who's Adam Lambert? No, for reals.
Just kidding. No?
I don't know. I don't.
What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
I know the song, but I don't know the person.
Well, him, the one who sings it.
But I don't know what he looks like.
He's hot.
Really?
Yeah. Well, actually, he's one of the first like queer people that another one of the first. He was on American Idol and he was like open, like queer, visibly queer. And then once he won American Idol, he went on to like perform at the like Video Music Awards or something. And there was this song that he was performing, and then he kisses the guy on the lips, and it was like all over the media, like Adam Lambert kissed the guy on the lips. Oh my god, blah blah blah. And now like there's people showing their asshole on TV, and it's like another day at the VMAs. Nicki Minaj. The visibility of artists everywhere. Kim Petras, she's a trans pop girl. That's oh my god.
It's another product.
Are they queer?
Yeah, she's queer.
Okay, we're doing better. Snow the product, the rapper.
She's a queer Latina artist.
What about Queen Latifah? Oh, she's a lesbian, huh?
Oh yeah, that's a Raven. Raven Simone,
yay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everybody's
coming out now but no, like right now, like everybody it's a different world.
And Love, Simon, the movie came out. And there is that. Anyway, there are some positive media influences now, but back then there wasn't, which is why I understand that lack of education in regards to the LGBT community.
Mm-hmm. But you know what I've found to be like the solution? Oh, that's bold. Not the solution.
How do you fix LGBT people? Millenia's about to get canceled.
Excuse me? No. The best way to educate yourself is what I meant. Is to talk to a person of the LGBT community. Talk to a trans person and ask them about their experience and what it's like. Talk to a lesbian. Talk to a pansexual. Talk to a demi boy. Talk to a demi girl. Like, if there's someone that you meet, instead of shunning them and pushing them aside and being like, oh God, I roll. If you really are a decent person, ask them, how you can support them, what they're about, and educate yourself is my point. That's the best way to
Yeah.
do it. If you can't do the whole reading, the this, the that, the research, talk to somebody
Yeah.
and humanize it.
Well said.
I'm leaving.
That's it. That's all we had for you today.
That concludes today's episode. Go talk to somebody. LGBT.
Millenia
I went
saved
off,
herself. You saved
no,
yourself from
I
getting
didn't
canceled.
say myself. No, because what did I even say?
How
My
do you
stupid
fix
ass mouth.
LGBT people? No, I didn't
No.
say that.
Oh my god. Guess if I got scared for a second, but I am LGBT. Forgets.
That crown's getting to you. Hearing people's stories, hearing the struggles.
Dude, I'm getting fired up because I'm like, now I'm thinking about those people who are like, you have people in your family. Approach them, talk to them.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, nope, never existed, never heard of that. Well, sit down and hear about it now, bitch.
Yeah. Hear about it. That's gonna be the best way that you can hear their lives and how it feels to be. Already as it is, the whole world is against your whole. I think that it makes me so upset when I see, because I try to stay off. I try to stay off the internet, right? And see
That's
those
why I don't have
comments.
Twitter. I can't.
And I see these people talking about trans people, and they're like, "Oh, they're this. It's so easy to them to get this. They're messed up in the head. They got a
Dude, the other day you were talking about someone on Facebook who is openly like commenting like as if they know.
Yeah.
And it's like you're spreading this false narrative and news, and like people are listening to you. That's dangerous because you're miseducating people and instilling fear in them and putting other people's lives in danger because of that.
And it makes me so upset to hear them say all these things and being like, "Oh, that's not real. That's made up." And I'm like, I'm not made up. I'm real. Like,
I'm real.
All these 6.5 inches are real. Anyways, yeah, I'm real. Like J-Lo.
And I'm real. With Ja Rule. And
Way you
I...
walk, way you.
I'm a little straight. I know it's Ja Rule. I know about BMX.
Yeah. That's a bike. You know, one of the things that we get the most, because we work in LGBT center, and we almost wake up thinking LGBT, go to bed thinking LGBT. We are LGBT. Like, it's very centered around our lives, so we're very much aware, even though apparently I'm not that much aware of LGBT people.
Says who?
You, because you keep saying all these names and I don't know who they are.
Oh, well, that's entertainment. Well, I like that too, though, because like some people think LGBT, or if someone's gay, oh, they're going to wear booty shorts, or they're going to wear the glitter. Oh, they're going to love the pop girlies. And it's like, no, everybody's different. And like,
it's an airplane. We're not getting bombed.
Okay. That's why you need to see people for who they are and sit down and talk to them and get to know them. Because like, just like not all straight men are the same, not all straight women are the same. Same thing with LGBT people.
Yeah, there's more to it than just their identity.
It's just important because I think I feel so strongly about it because the world is already against LGBT people, you know, a lot of the time. And if you have a loved one who is part of the community, be there for them instead of adding yourself to the mob that already exists, you know. But I feel that's the easiest way. Talk to somebody and
hear them out, hear their story.
Go to a LGBT center, find resources, support groups.
One of the things that we do get a lot of people, like, one of the things that we do get that people say or parents say is like, "Hey, my kid just came out. What am I gonna do?" Or, "Hey, I think I'm this. What do I do?" And it's like, you're good. Like, you're fine. Like, they're gonna be fine. But there's like this fear around it of like, and I understand though, because my dad, when I came out to him, he was like, life's gonna be extra hard for you. And I was like, okay, I understand that, but like, it's gonna be okay. Educate yourself, find that support. So if you do come out later in life or earlier in life, whatever the case may be, find support, find community, find your people. They're going to be the ones that are going to be there for you the most.
Dude, that's why I think like people like Mommy Decade, like I love Mommy Decade's story because she is from El Salvador, moved here once she found out that she had queer kids. it felt a little funny because of all the things that were implemented in her head, but she was like, you know what, I need to educate myself and be there for my kid because the world is already hard as it is and I can't add myself to that.
Yeah.
Like right now, last week she was being interviewed for Univision regarding LGBT issues, and it just speaks so much, about like if you truly love someone, like just being there for them.
Yeah, and so Mommy Decade is an ally, right?
She's an ally.
Other ways you can be an ally, or what is an ally? An ally is somebody who supports the LGBT community, right?
And I would say advocates,
Advocates too,
that
yeah.
person who, let's say, they're not part of the LGBT community, but they hear these comments over here coming from freaking Catherine.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what, Catherine, that's not cool. Or, hey, Catherine, shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, like, but speaks, for or defends the community.
Yeah, so that's why it's important to be, for us, or for some, to be visible for those who can't be.
Yeah, because you're ultimately, you use the little bit of privilege you may have in your voice and power and to speak up for the communities that are down here who are getting stomped on a lot of the times.
Yeah, but if you don't feel safe, like, none of us are going to be mad at you for not saying anything.
I will.
I won't.
Just kidding. No, of course, be safe. There's times.
No, there was a time where I was at a concert and I was in the bathroom and the women's line is super long as usual. So I got out, I was washing my hands, and some of the women were in the men's bathroom. And again, I don't care because I just need to use the bathroom and get out. But some guy was like, "Why aren't the women using their bathroom?" And the girl was like, "Why don't you stand in line for an hour and then you let me know if you want to stand in that line?" And the first thing that he said was like, "Hell no, I ain't no transvestite." And I was like, washing my hands and being like, fuck, like he's talking about somebody like me and he has no idea, but
And
I didn't say anything.
I've definitely heard comments like that before where I'm there and you catch strays like that, but it's true. You need to be safe and know when it's you need to put your safety first, because there's some people who, no matter how hard you argue, you have better luck convincing a wall. They don't want to hear it. Yeah. It's not going to happen, and they might possibly get violent. Yeah. So don't put yourself in danger in that sense. But there are times when speaking up is necessary. Yeah. So that's just part of the LGBT struggle.
Yeah. Other ways, though, if you don't want to speak up, is wearing little stickers, ally pins, getting flags. Yeah. Just creating a safe space, you being the safe space for others.
Yeah. So if little Johnny would have seen someone with the rainbow pin or flag, they would have been like, safe space. So you could do that for current people, not just youth. Like anybody can see that and be like, oh, that's probably an ally, or I can trust them or approach them.
Yeah. Amazing.
Thanks. But what about the topic at hand? All right, everyone, that was it for today's episode. We had a little conversation going on. I look like a warrior princess ready to square up for my rights.
I feel like we're a little bit everywhere, but I think there's just so much information that we want to be able to say, but we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, and then sometimes people think LGBT just means gay.
It doesn't just mean gay.
And it's like, there's so much to it. So if you're an ally, an advocate, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for what you do and speaking up for our community. We hope that this kind of helped out a little bit with LGBT terminology, a little understanding of what that means. I know that sometimes organizations can have LGBT 101s and things like that. We know that for sure here in Visalia, that's a possibility. But there's always YouTube and speaking to loved ones to better inform yourself and hear about their experience.
Yeah, knowledge is power. Continue to educate yourself. If you don't have the answers, find them. Ask questions.
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves. Yeah.
I'll drink to that. Wait, no, we didn't get a good clink.
Mommy Decade, thank you for the cups. She's God damn.
Okay, that wraps. I mean, that's
don't forget to follow our social medias.
We didn't say it in the last video.
It's okay. Don't forget to follow us social medias, Millenia Decade, Alix991. Find us on TikTok too.
Thirst
and
traps, funnies.
Yeah, well, we'll see you all soon.
Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Let's go back.
I'm fucking done.
Back to the beginning.